Okay, good evening, students. See,
Good evening, sir.
let me share my screen. So I think we are continuing with the system of particles problems, Neet past paper. But before that, Sir was telling me if we can discuss a little bit or take a look at the yesterday's Neet paper. So maybe we can quickly take a look at it. I just searched it online. I think it's not as tough as people think, but mostly I would say around 50% it was it is kind of okay. You can do it from the concepts or from the past paper questions. Maybe another 50%, yes, as usually it has to be difficult, right? So every year they want to make it a little bit difficult. So if you want, we can go through one or two problems from this, few problems from this, from the 11th portions. 12th portions, of course, we cannot do it, right? You do not know the 12th portion concepts. So maybe we can do some from the 11th portions, and then we can get started with the system of particles again, right? System of particles also I keep it open. So I think we did up to 57. So maybe or 58, I'm not sure. And I asked you to do the remaining things. So definitely, you have to take some effort, right? Physics is not going to be easy. Only if you take the effort, it will become easier, right? any skill like swimming or driving, initially everything is difficult, and physics is going to be difficult only. Only if you take some effort, only if you take some regular effort, every day you have to solve at least 10 to 20 problems every day. At least 10 problems minimum, right? 10 problems could solve panna matter, sir, and I want Neet means it's going to be very difficult, right? So I am saying a very, very minimum work you have to do is 10 problems per day. You have to do it regularly. Okay, these two problems are 12th portions. Maybe we can try this one. A ball of 0.5 kg is dropped from a height of 40 meters. So that means this is 40 meters. The ball hits the ground and rises to a height of 10 meters. So that means after hitting, right? So dropped means u is equal to 0. So that means I can find the velocity with which it's going to hit the ground. And similarly, I can find the velocity with which it's going to bounce back. And they said it's going to a height of 10 meters. So that means the final velocity is equal to 0. A is equal to minus g, right? Acceleration due to gravity. So that means if I'm able to find this velocity with which the ball is going to hit the ground and the velocity with which it is going to come out, right? So read the question. The impulse imparted to the ball during its collision with the ground is. So impulse means, anybody remember what is impulse?
A large force for acting for a shorter interval of time.
Okay, very good. So F is equal to rate of change of momentum. So mv minus mu divided by t. So like a hammer hitting, right? So if I bring it over here, force into time will give me change in momentum. So that means this is force and this is your impulse. Very often in like this question, they will not give you the force and time, they will give you only these details. That means you should remember that it is coming from the Newton's second law. From the second law, you should know that F is equal to mv minus mu divided by t, rate of change of momentum. Rate means divide by time. Change in momentum means final momentum minus initial momentum. That means they have indirectly given you the v and u value. They are not given it, but you have to calculate it. Once I calculate it, I can calculate the impulse. Very simple. So that means in this part of the problem, I think I can use S is equal to ut plus half at square. But I don't know the time, so I think I have to use v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. So v is the final velocity, right? This is the ball on 0. So u squared is 0. Initial velocity dropped 2a, so that means 2 into 9.8. This is 40. So that means from this I can calculate the v. Similarly, I think I can use the same formula here. So v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. Final velocity is 0. U squared so this will be minus 2 9.8 u and displacement u is this way, g is this way. So minus 2 into 9.8 into 10. So they said specifically said 9.8, but even if I take it as 10, I think I will be able to get the approximate answer. So v squared, if you are wondering, sir, here you took plus, here you took minus, means if you want, you can put a minus here, but velocity is in this way. So minus v squared and minus. So I think it will go away. The displacement is minus, right? So minus into minus. So if you want, you can put a minus here, and you have to put a minus here. Why? Because displacement is this way, downwards. So minus 9.8 is downwards. So that means you can do that like that. So this will become 400 into 2, right? So approximately I'm going to take it as 10. Let's see if it works. So 400 into 2. So v will be equal to square root this thing. So u, similarly, u squared is equal to 10 into 10, 100, 2 into 100. And then the square comes on this side, so square root. So that means m is 0.5 kg, so I can take it out commonly. So what is left is v minus u. So that means this will become 20 root 2. This will become 10 root 2. So 20 root 2 minus 10 root 2. So I can take 10 root 2 commonly out, right? So what is left is 10 root 2 gone. So 2 minus 1. So this becomes 1. So this will be 5 root 2. 5 into 1.4. Are we doing any mistakes here? Anybody saying anything wrong? don't see this one, the option here. This will be close to 22, so 7. So I am getting 7 here. The solution does not look correct to me. Anybody else getting any other answers?
Sir, why we are taking G is equal to 10 instead of 9.8?
To make it quicker. If you want, you can keep multiplying 9.8 into 4 and keep taking the square roots. Right? It's going to take forever. So it's up to you. Whichever is quicker, you can do that. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not going to change the values from 7 to 21 or 84, right? So maybe instead of 7, you are going to get some 6.9 or 6.8. So it's not going to change anything, in my opinion. But otherwise, I think everything looks correct to me. Anybody seeing any issues? Because the solution looks different. So this is what I am getting. This is Newton, this is seconds. So that means we'll get Newton second. Okay, so if you know this concept, you can do this. Nothing very difficult. This is 12th portion. This is 11th portion. So let's try 11th portion. The kinetic energies of two similar cars A and B are 100 joule and 225 joules respectively. So that means half mv squared is given. Half m v1 square va square is equal to 100 joule. Half m vb square 225 joules. They said similar cars, so I am taking the mass same. On applying the brakes, car A stops after 1000 meter. So stopping distance is 1000 meter, and car B stops after 1500 meters. If FA and FB are the forces applied by the brakes on car A and car B respectively, then find the ratio of FA by FB. So FA by FB is what is asked. I know it is mass into acceleration. Since they said similar cars, can cancel this. So somehow I have to find the acceleration from the given data. So I know that braking distance means I will always use this formula, v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. Why? Because stopping the car means final velocity is 0. Initial velocity, it's coming from here. That means it will be this velocity square. So 100, 2 into 100, 2 into 100 divided by m. You are applying the brakes, which means deceleration. So 2a, let's call this as a into displacement is, it is stopping after 1000 meters. So find out AA, similarly find out AB, and substitute it, you'll get the answer. Can you folks quickly do it yourself and tell me the answer? 2 I can get rid of, 100 I can get rid of. So 1 by m, 1 by m will be there, going on the other side, minus minus cancels. So 10, so 10. Similarly, you have to do it for EB. Okay. So very easy, nothing very difficult. If you know stopping distance and this half mv square kinetic energy, you can do that. Only thing you should have a clarity in your mind that okay, they're asking this, we want this, which means I have to calculate the acceleration. Acceleration is coming from the equations of motion, third equation, because I know this one, so from that I can find the area. So if you know this clarity, it's all just mathematics. Okay, so it's all comes out of practice. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. Every problem is difficult until we understand the underlying concepts. Once we know that, it is easy. And that is electrical 12th standard portion. Heat conductivity 11th portion. Three identical heat conducting rods are connected in series as shown. So you can see that it is series connection. They said 2K, K, 2K, T1 and T2. So they are asking you to find the T1, T2 are the junction temperatures at this point and this point. So they're asking you to find the ratio T1 with T2, and they are just given that this is higher temperature and this is lower temperature. So the heat is flowing like this. So higher temperature to lower temperature. Thermal conductivity. So this is K, this is 2K. So heat conduction formula, if you want, I can show you the handbook. Again, you can access it from the website. I am accessing it from my folder. So 5 seconds we have to wait until it is stuck here. Yeah. So we are talking about heat thermodynamics, right? Heat thermal properties. So thermal properties, you can do some search in this file, Control F, and easily reach there. Yeah, so heat conductivity, thermal conductivity, you have to use this formula, right? dq by dt, H is equal to Ka by L into delta T. H stands for not heat, it is heat flow rate. So that means heat divided by time taken. Okay. So if you want, I can show you the concepts here side by side. So if you know this, you can do this problem. Otherwise, you cannot do this problem. Remember again, I am telling you, very often you will make the mistake. This is not heat, this is heat flow rate or heat conduction rate, meaning divided by time per second, joule per second. Thermal conductivity K, as the area gets bigger, the heat flow will be better. As the length increases, the heat flow will be reduced. So that's why the L is coming in the bottom. As the difference in temperature increases, the heat flow will be better. That's why it's coming in the top. That's all. So that means if you know this formula, I can do heat flow rate is same everywhere, right? Series connection means if 5 liters of water is flowing here, it should be 5 liters flowing here, and it should be 5 liters flowing here. So that means the flow will be same. Okay. So in your 10th standard, you must have studied resistance in series means current is same. So same thing here. So when you have something like this, the heat flow rate will be same. That means thermal conductivity 2K into area divided by L into delta T. Delta T means between this and this. 3T minus T1. Bigger temperature minus lower temperature, because this is higher temperature, this is lower temperature. That thermal conductivity should be equal to this thermal conductivity here. So that means it will be K, area is same, length is same, because they said 3 identical heat conducting rods. Delta T means T1 minus T2. Sir, how do I know whether it is T1 minus T2 or T2 minus T1? Because T1 is higher temperature. So always remember, heat flows from higher to lower. Water flows from higher level to lower level. Heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. Current flows from higher voltage to lower voltage. So all these 3 things are very important for you to remember. So if you want, make a note. Then it is your fault. Okay, so my suggestion is, whenever you hear something new, you have to write it down properly in a proper place. Okay, maybe in the handbook in that particular chapter. So in the last part, it will be 2K, area is same, length is same, T2 minus T. So that means basically I need to equate this and this, and then equate this and this, and find out T1 by T2. So 2 equations, 2 unknowns, T1 and T2. So let's try that. If I equate this and this, A by L will cancel, K will also cancel. So only 2 times 3T minus T1. So simplify this. So this comes on this side, so it will become plus 3, plus 2. So 2 plus 1, 3T1. So that is one relationship. Similarly, I can equate this and this. You can do this and this also, but nothing wrong, you know. So if I cancel out Ka by L, what is left is T1 minus T2 is equal to 2 times T2 minus T. So do the same thing, 2T2 minus 2T, T1 minus T2. So minus 2 comes on this side, so minus 2, so minus 3T2. So T1 minus 3T2 is equal to minus 2T. Simplify this and this, equation 1, equation 2, solve this and you will get T1 by T2. So try that quickly. So 3T1 minus T2 Suppose if I want to get rid of T1, I can multiply by 3 here. So 3T1 minus 9T2 minus 6T. Is that correct? Any mistakes? If you see any mistakes, let me know. 1, 2, 2. I hope I have not done any mistakes here, mathematical errors. I am multiplying this with 3 so that I can cancel out this. So minus plus plus. So this goes away. This will become 82. This will become 12T. So T2 is equal to 4. So 4 times 3 times, so 3 by 2 T. That is only T2. So now I have to find out T1. So maybe I can substitute it here. Or maybe I can substitute it here also. So T1 minus 3 T2. So T2 is 3 by 2 T is equal to minus 2T. So this will become 9 by 2. Minus becomes plus, minus 2T. This will become 4. So 9 minus 4, it will be 5T by 2. So I want T1 by T2. So 5 by 3. I think I have that option. Yeah. So you see, these are all just 10 standard simplifying, 10 standard mathematics, simplifying your equations. What you have to know is T1 and T2 are the unknowns. That means you have to have two equations. How do I get two equations? Using the thermal heat conduction rate formula. Okay, so this and this equated, you will get one equation. This and this equate, you will get another equation. After that, it is all mathematics. I would say only the red part is physics. All this blue and maroon, all these colors are mathematics. So this is what you have to understand in each and every problem. Okay, what is physics and what is maths. So if you know that, you can focus on the physics part, and of course you have to practice maths also. But multiplication, division, I'm sure all of you can do it, right? So it's just a matter of practice. This is where all of you need help. Okay, so that you have to communicate properly. Where you need help, which chapters you need help, those kind of things you have to communicate. Any doubts? Anything not clear in the first step? Physics part is very important. After that, mathematics, anybody can do it. Can I move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. My suggestion is you have to be thorough with the handbook. Of course, you can study your textbook, nothing wrong in it. But textbook is like very vast. So everything is kind of, spread out in some thousands of pages. Handbook, it is kind of concentrated. Everything is concentrated in one place. Okay. So make use of the handbook. I see some of you like Vedant and all, you have taken the printout. So I would recommend the same thing for others also. So go and take down the printouts so that you can always quickly refer to it. In an oscillating spring mass system, a spring is connected to a box filled with sand. As the box oscillates, sand leaks slowly out of the box vertically so that the average frequency and average amplitude of the system change with time. Which one of the following options schematically depicts these changes correctly? So that means what they are saying is you have a spring like this and you have a box like this. And if I pull this and leave it, it will start oscillating. now instead of having a block, what they're saying is you have a lot of sand here. You can imagine sand or water. Sometimes they'll give you the question as water. So if there is a small leak, the sand will keep on leaking down, right? Slowly leaks out. Sand leaks out slowly. So that means the mass will keep on decreasing. So this is the spring constant K does not change, whereas the mass is changing. So anybody remember the formula? Omega is equal to square root of K by M. Okay, so maybe eventually we will be studying as we were planning earlier, right? As Kesav sir was saying. Eventually, within 1 or 2 months, we will try to switch over to 12th portions. My expectation is I want to go along with your schoolwork so that it's easy for you. Otherwise, it will become more burden for you. But we'll be teaching for some 11 students. So if you want, you can join at that time along with 11 students. Okay, so that is up to you. But as I said, right now, we are in the May month, maybe we can spend more time on the 11th portions. Again, I can show you where it is. So make sure you are thorough with the handbook concepts. If not 100%, I would say at least 80-90% is covered in the handbook. And whichever is not covered, I keep on adding it now, then and there. So you can take the printouts later also. For now, I would say you can take the printouts. Yeah, so that's your oscillations chapter. So a lot of information there. Yeah. So horizontal spring, vertical spring. So omega is equal to square root of K by M. So different types of springs are discussed here, right? The mistake all of us we do is we'll study one system and then we'll go to the exam. And then they'll ask you this one. And then we study this one and then go to the exam, they'll ask you this one. So it will keep on going like this. So you'll never be able to achieve everything together. So the target here is, as much as possible, I have tried to give everything in one place. So all the oscillations related to springs, series spring, parallel spring, two masses, right? So if you study one page, you should be, able to do at least some 10-15 problems in these models. Similarly, if you have some more advanced questions, you have these kind of platform. You have little more advanced. These are all some JE kind of questions. And then I have given all the pendulum related questions, right? So all the concepts are covered here. You see infinite length pendulum, bowl and ball, conical pendulum, simple pendulum using spring constant concept. Simple pendulum inside electric field, right? And in an accelerating lift, accelerating vehicle. So all the pendulum related problems are given here. So if you see a question where there is a pendulum inside a car, accelerating car or taking a turn, which means it is accelerating, then you should come back and study this one and then apply the concepts. That's what you have to keep on doing. Okay, so whenever there is a question, go and search in the handbook, right? And then apply that concepts in the problem. And if you have doubts, take a picture and send it to me. I can explain it either in the WhatsApp or during these classes. Okay. So that's the only way to improve your physics problem solving skill. Okay, coming back to this. So you see, they will not ask you the direct question. They instead said, okay, mass is decreasing. So when the mass is decreasing, I know omega should increase. So that means omega will keep on increasing. So this is increasing, this is increasing, this is increasing, this is decreasing. So that means this can be eliminated. So I have three correct options. So now I have to go to the average amplitude. Amplitude, generally speaking, when you pull it, right, unless it is a undamped oscillation, right? If it is a damped oscillation, the amplitude will keep on decreasing. So the amplitude will go like this and it will keep on decreasing. This is what we call it as damped oscillation because it is getting dampened, right? The simple pendulum will not keep on going. It will not keep on oscillating forever. However, if you assume the ideal situation, then we will assume that it is undamped oscillation. If it is undamped oscillation, then the amplitude will remain the same. So this is your amplitude. Here they didn't say anything properly. They didn't say whether there is ER resistance or anything like that. So since they didn't say anything like damped oscillation, I think we can assume it as amplitude is constant. So that means this will be the correct answer. Again, the question is not 100% complete. They should have said something. If it is damped oscillation, then the amplitude will keep on decreasing. So this is undamped. This is damped oscillation. So take it down properly. I will send you this PDF link after the class so that you can study it. That's all, very simple. Okay, so all these things for the explanation purpose, I'm writing it in your exams. You don't have to write all these things. You can, once you know this, you can think in your mind itself and get this correctly. So you don't have to do any writing at all. Okay, these are all 12th portions. Particle mass pulling towards force model. Appropriate. Yeah, we can try this 11th one. Let me get some water. Try this yourself. Read through it. So t is given as x squared plus x. They're asking you to find the acceleration of the particle. So usually you will have x in terms of t. So 3t square plus t, something like this. So differentiating this is easier. But now to make it difficult for you, right? It's the same concept. Only thing they have, interchange I think in maths you call this a subject of the equation. Instead of making the x as a subject, they have made the t as a subject. So that means I have to find x as a subject. So that means x squared plus x is equal to t. X squared plus x minus t is equal to 0. X squared, this is a quadratic equation, so minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. 4a is 1, c is minus t. by 2a. So minus 1 by 2 plus or minus, this will become root of 1 plus 4t divided by 2. Now differentiating this is easy. Because I will get velocity and then I can get the acceleration. So that means dx by dt is your velocity. So if I differentiate this, I'll get 0. If I differentiate this, power 1 by 2. So that means I already have a 1 by 2 here and then power 1 by 2. So that will be 1 more 1 by 2. Because this is like having 1 plus 4t power 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 comes to the front, 1 plus 4t power minus 1. 1 by 2 minus 1 will become minus 1 by 2. By chain rule, I have to differentiate this, it will become 0. If I differentiate this, I'll get 4. This 2 and 2 into 2, 4 cancels. So what I get is plus or minus 1 plus 4t or minus 1 by 2. I want acceleration, so that means I have to differentiate dv by dt. That is your acceleration. So if I differentiate this again, plus or minus 1 by 2 comes to the front. If I differentiate this thing, minus 1 by 2 minus 1, so it will become minus 3 by 2. And then I have to, by chain rule, I have to differentiate whatever is inside. So I'll get 4 here. So 2 and 4 will cancel, so I'll get 2. Minus 1 into this, again it will become minus into plus, right? Minus into plus, minus, minus into minus, plus. So this is, I want the answer in terms of x, which means t can be replaced with x squared plus x. So 2 here, 1 plus 4 into x squared plus x. This will become 4x square plus 4x plus 1. Power minus 3 by 2. In the question, I don't see anything like that, which means I see a 1 by 2 here, so that means this might be a square term. So quadratic, you know how to solve. 4 into 1, it will become 4. 4 here. Different people have different methods. You can follow whichever method you are comfortable with. 2 into 2, 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. So I'll write it as 4x. 4x. So I will cancel this and this. So I'll get 2. That means I'll get 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. If I want to double check, 2x plus 1 the whole square will give me 4x square plus 1 plus 2 into 2x will give me 4x. That means you see this 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is nothing but square root. So square root of this will become only 1 2x plus 1. So I see some answers having 2x plus 1, this and this. And then I see power cube in the bottom. So that means I think it's the last option. So because of the minus 1 by 2, it will come in the bottom. So 1 by 2 means you will take only one of them, right? So 2x plus 1 power 3. So if anybody is having any doubts with the mathematics, please ask me your doubts. These are all quadratic, right? So you should know how to do this from your maths. If you don't know, please let me know. It's all mathematics, 10th standard mathematics. Minus 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2 is square root. So that means it is coming in. Minus means it will come in the bottom. 1 by 2 means square root. So I'm writing only one term and there is a power cube. So that means, yeah, so that means this is wrong. This is the correct answer. So that means you should know something called subject of the equation, right? So only if you have the subject, you can differentiate it easily. Actually, there is one more method. You can differentiate it directly like this, keeping it like this, but I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe we can try that also. Any doubts in this method? If you want, I can teach you the other method also. As I always say, learning more than one method is always, it will improve your confidence. Because not always, we'll be able to do it by one particular method. T is equal to x squared plus x. So if I differentiate with time, dt by dt will become 1, 2x. And if I differentiate x, I will get dx by dt. Plus, if I differentiate x, I will get dx by dt. So if I take dx by dt commonly out, I will get 2x plus 1. I hope I have not missed anything here. 2x dx by dt. Differentiating t. Right? So I am differentiating this with respect to t. If you are confused with this, I can write one step over here. This is like differentiating t with respect to t. So that means dt by dt will become 1. So that means I can find dx by dt is equal to 2x plus 1 goes to the bottom. So if I want acceleration, I have to differentiate this one more time. So dv by dt. So if I differentiate this, I will get minus 1 in the front, 2x plus 1. Then this will become minus 1, so it will become minus 2. Am I doing anything wrong here? X squared plus x is correct. Acceleration will come only as 2x plus 1 square. 2x dx by dt. Let me check if I have done something wrong. Anybody seeing any errors? Two x dx by dt plus x dx by dt. So 2x plus 1. acceleration, I will get it as 2x plus 1 the whole square. How come I'm getting something different from this one? I should get the same answer, x square plus x. Anybody seeing any errors? I'm sure I might be doing some mistake here. Dx by dt is taken out, so 2x plus 1. So dx by dt will be 2x plus 1 goes to the other side, so it will become power minus 1.
Sir, we have to differentiate inside now, sir.
Differentiate where?
Inside, sir, the 2x plus 1.
This one?
No, sir.
It's still after this, I'm just taking it over here. So 2x plus 1 power minus 1. And then here only I'm differentiating it. Here I'm not differentiating it. So minus 1 comes to the front. 2x plus 1 power minus 1, it will become minus 2. And then if I differentiate this, I will get 2x. Oh, wait a minute. So 2x. And then when I differentiate x, actually I will not get x, I will get dx by dt. Yeah, then it's correct.
Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, you are right. So that means minus 2x plus 1 power minus 2. Dx by dt is this one. So 2x plus 1 power minus 1. So minus 2 minus 1, yeah, then I will get the same answer like this, yeah. So minus 2 divided by 2x plus 1 power minus 3 becomes plus 3 in the bottom. I think since you are getting plus or minus, doesn't matter. So I think you can ignore the minus there. Any doubts? So the mistake I was doing was, I think I did the same mistake. Here I differentiated it correctly. Here I stopped here. I didn't differentiate this properly. So that means when I differentiate this, I'll get dx by dt. Okay. If you're not thorough with this kind of differentiation, don't worry about it. As you study your maths, I'm sure it will become easier. So for now, you can take it down. Any doubts? So as I say, try both the methods. It will improve your mathematics concepts also. Okay, these things are 12 standard concepts. There are two inclined surfaces of equal length and same angle of inclination, 45 degree with the horizontal. So that means you have one here, and then you have one here. One of them is rough and the other is perfectly smooth. So that means this is kind of rough. The given body takes 2 times as much time to slide down on the rough surface. So that means if I had a object like this, length is same, so this is also L, this is also L. This is no friction, so that means it's going to slide down very quickly. So that means this is time taken as t. Here there is some friction, which means it's going to slide down slowly. That means they said 2 times T. Okay, very often I have seen students, confusing like, should I put the T here or 2T here? So that kind of confusion you should not get. If you know the physics of the problem, you know that smooth surface will be faster. Friction surface will be slower, which means more time. Okay, think further which formula can I use? I want some water. The coefficient of kinetic friction, mu k. So basically I need to find the coefficient of kinetic friction. So that means whenever there is inclined plane, the first thing I would do is mg, normal reaction. And if I split this into, resolve it into two components, if this is theta, this is also theta. That means this will be mg sine theta. This will be mg cos theta. And you see there is nothing on this side because there is no friction. Whereas here it will be the same thing except for the friction. So whenever there is inclined plane problem, always remember this mg sine theta, these things are pretty much the same. Okay, most of the time it will be the same. So normal reaction n. And this is theta, this is also theta. And now one additional thing is friction. Friction will be acting in the opposite direction because the block is sliding down, which means the friction will be F friction is equal to mu into N. Mu is what they're asking you to find. N is, this and this should be equal. So that means I can write as mg cos theta. That means, listen carefully. This side, the acceleration is only this part. If you remove the mass, that is your acceleration. Here, I should not take only this part. I should take this minus this because there is some force acting this way. So that means on this side, time taken will be S is equal to ut plus half at square. S is your length L. Initial velocity 0, I think. They're not given anything, so I can assume it. Half. This is not 9.8, this is this because it's sliding in the inclined plane. So I should take g sine theta because mg is your force. Mg sine theta is your force. If I want acceleration, I should not take the m. Into t square. Do the same thing here. But before that, you should know that in the sliding direction, it is mg sine theta minus mu into mg cos theta. That means if I remove the m, Again, I should not put the m for the acceleration because this is force. So the net force is downwards. This is a friction. So use the same formula. S is equal to ut plus half at square. U is 0. Length is same, similar inclined plane. Half acceleration is different now because of the friction. It has changed. So I should take this part without the m. So g sine theta minus mu cos theta. Remember, they are asking you to find the mu. T squared, I should not put t. What should I put? I should put 2t because the t squared is in the formula. So the time is actually 2t the whole square. That's all. So I know that the length is same. So that means I can equate this and this. Equate this, you will get the answer. Half g will get cancelled out. So what is remaining is t squared cancels out. So what is remaining is sine theta is equal to sine theta minus mu cos theta into 4. All the other things are cancelled out. So simplify this, you'll get the answer. Angle is 45 degrees, so sine 45 is 45. You can take it as 4 sine theta. I kept it as theta because you should know these concepts are applicable in any inclined plane problem. Okay, so that you can apply the numbers later on. So if you know these concepts, it's very, very easy. Inclined plane problem, many students think it is difficult. Actually, it's very, very easy. You have to open your mouth and clarify your doubts if you have any doubts. Sir, how did you get this? How did you get this? Only if you open your mouth, I will know where you are, where you stand. Otherwise, I will assume that you are grasping everything correctly, and then I'll keep on moving. So it's your duty to stop me. As I said, online class is very, very difficult. It is completely the responsibility of the students. Okay, you can log in and you can keep playing around, or you can play around some video games or something, or you can be watching TV. I do not know what you are doing. I'm assuming that all of you are very, very sincere students. Okay, so that means you have to take the effort. I am doing whatever is possible from my side. Okay, Kesav sir is doing whatever is possible from his side. Only students, you have to make use of it properly. Online class, not an easy thing, right? The responsibility completely lies on your part. Four minus 1, it will become 3. This will become 4 mu cos theta. Sin theta by cos theta will become tan theta. 3 by 4 mu. Tan 45 is 1, so that means mu is equal to 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 is your answer. 3 by 4 is 0.75. Very often I have seen they ask you these kind of questions. Okay, and all these things are there in the past paper questions. If you don't practice it and go, obviously people will keep complaining that it is very difficult. In my opinion, if you have practiced all the past paper questions, I'm sure it is easy only now. If not easy, at least 50%, 60%, I'm sure you can do it, right? If not 100%.
Sir, whether we were given enough space to do all these calculations during the examinations?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I need to find out from the students. Generally, I've seen some students saying that they get some one sheet or something, which means you have to write it very, very small. But remember, as I keep on telling you, since this is a class, I'm trying to explain you so many things. Once you know the concepts, you should be able to do it. Many of the things you can do it in the mind. Okay.
No,
Yes,
they
sir.
give
So if you,
one page, 1 or 2 page in the question paper.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is very weird, as a physics teacher. I know that it is very, very weird because you have to do so much of
but
calculations.
you can do in the question paper itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Question paper you can do anything. That is your material, and in that question paper
Yeah.
itself, they have give one blank page or two blank page sometimes.
Okay. Okay, then I think they can manage it. It's not a question of no space. If you know the concept, you can do it, right? So, of course, as I said, since it is a classroom right now, I'm trying to explain so many things. Maybe once you know the concept, you can skip some of the things and reduce the space. Actually. Okay, so anything else, Vedant?
Sir.
Any other questions? It's good thing you brought it up. And I was thinking that it is, just like JEE, I was thinking it is like a computer based thing. I didn't realize it is, I forgot that it is paper based. So that means since it is a question paper, you can work it out in the question paper, right? I think this one we did some problem based on ladder last class, remember? So this is very similar to that. This one is also, this slightly difficult. Maybe, we can do it in the next class. It will take a little bit longer time. Are you folks, have you studied relative velocity in your 11th standard?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is an easy one. Maybe we can do it quickly. In my opinion, if you're thorough with the past paper questions, both JE and even mains, JE mains also you can try it. In addition to Neet, because if you say that these things are difficult, then you have to then we have to practice more than Neet. A container has two chambers, V1, V2, separated by a partition made of a thermal insulator. So that means you have something here, and then you have a thermal insulator here. So you have P1, V1, number of moles, P2, V2, number of moles. When the partition is removed, the mixture attains an equilibrium pressure. So you know that when I remove this partition, gas will flow from higher pressure to lower pressure, and eventually it will equalize, meaning this entire chamber will be having one single pressure. The underlying principle here is very important. Take it down. It's there in the handbook, okay, somewhere in the kinetic theory of gases chapter. So energy before should be equal to energy after. Energy before is pressure into volume. So we call this as pressure energy. So P1 V1 is equal to plus P2 V2 is your energy here. That should be equal to the pressure final pressure into the total volume. V total, which is V1 plus V2. Any doubts here? Pressure into volume will always give you, there is something called pressure energy, just like kinetic energy and potential energy. In your Bernoulli's theorem, you must have studied P plus half rho V square plus rho GH, right? And that is your constant. This is your potential energy term. This is your kinetic energy term. Okay. So actually in the previous one step before this, right, you would have got pressure into volume. And when you divide by volume, the volume cancels and get P. That's why, mass by volume will give me density. Mass by volume will give me density. So go back and check your Bernoulli's theorem in the handbook. So that means a moving fluid, in addition to kinetic energy and potential energy, it will have something called pressure energy. So take it down properly. When you go to a cycle shop, right, they have a big compressor tank. From that tank, they are filling up your cycle tire pressure, right? So they are filling up the air in the cycle tires. So that means bigger the tank, more energy. Bigger the pressure, more energy. That means pressure into volume is what is called pressure energy. Okay. The books don't use this term, but nothing wrong if you, for your remembrance, nothing wrong if you remember it like this. That's all. If you know this, P1 is given, V1 is given, P2 is given, V2 is given, V1 plus V2 can be found, which means you can find the PF. Okay, so I'll leave it to you. Do this, or maybe you can quickly do this. Anybody quickly do this problem and tell me what is the answer. Plus 3, it will be 5. So 6 plus 2, 8. 8 by 5. How much is 8 by 5? 0.6. Okay, the same problem, what they will do is sometimes they will ask you the temperature. So that means you have to replace this equation. That's why I say, if you know the underlying principle, from that you can keep on you can keep on doing the different variants. You don't have to study each one as separate problem. Many students make the mistake of, each one they study it as separate formula or separate problem, which is wrong. Okay. From the same question, next time what they will do is, when you go for your exam, they will twist the question, like, they'll ask you the final temperature. That means, if you know this underlying principle, I know that PV is equal to mu RT or nRT. So N1, R is constant, T1 plus N2, R T2 is equal to pressure final, so nRT. So the total number of moles will be N1 plus N2, nRT. And that's your T final. That means the R will get cancelled out. If T1 and T2 are given and N1 and N2 are given, you can find the T final. So that means you see the underlying principle is same. Okay. So from that, they may ask you pressure, they may ask you temperature. Okay. Go back and check your handbook. I think I have given it in the thermal properties or kinetic theory of gases. I can show you. In the kinetic theory, you have some gas mixtures problem. You can go through this. And I think in the thermodynamics, towards the end, I would have given some Neet and J equations. Yeah, this one. So mixing of gases in two chambers. So this is what I was talking about. Pressure and energy conservation. P1 V1 plus P2 V2 is equal to PF V1 plus V2. Any questions? Very important type. Very often they will ask you this kind of two chamber questions. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. We didn't do the rotation motion. Maybe we can continue in the next class. Or maybe we can continue with this question paper and then come back to this. I think we did. Yeah, I think we have done at least 20 or something. So another 20, maybe we can complete it and then come back to the rotation motion. The reason is you should know what kind of questions they are asking. And if you ask me, is it difficult? Yes, it is difficult, but can you manage it? Yes, if you practice properly, definitely you can manage. Okay, it's not a question of impossible task. Only thing you have to do it. You have to do regularly. All these questions have been asked in the past. Only thing you have to take the question paper, study it. At least in the website, I given a lot of neat past paper here, right? So we can practice all the 11 portions already. And some of the things, the solutions are given in this place. So you can go back and study the solutions, okay, from the last year discussions. Other than that, you can buy, MTG is a good brand. You can buy that book, MTG past paper, past neat questions. And then you have past JE questions. After completing past year questions in NEET, maybe you can go to past year JE. Okay. Any questions for you guys? Communication is the key. So you have to communicate well. Okay. If you don't have any questions, thank you all. I'll stop here. Vedant, Sandamil,
Thank you, sir.
Okay, no doubts. Okay, thank you all. Bye.